We are going to bring in individually and talk to some of our most important partners with the NCBP. We're really privileged to have strategic partners outside of the legal profession, but that are ancillary to what we do, that are so valuable, frankly, not just in providing financial support, but providing services that are important to us and important to our members. And we want to take the time to talk to them, talk about how they're doing through the pandemic, talk about things that they've learned and what they're looking forward to, both in terms of their own organization, but apropos of what we're doing here, how they can help us serve our members and how they can serve us even better. I do want to thank all of our partners, sometimes called sponsors. We're going to talk to just a handful of them here in a minute. But for this particular meeting and for this year, I want to thank, as always, LexisNexis, Rimkus, Legal Talk Network, which has become a great partner. We're so thrilled to have them on board as well. It's a newer partnership. We'll talk a little bit about it. Community Brands, ABA Retirement, ARAG, and Bobagard. But what we're going to do right now is talk to certain of our sponsors that can speak to that issue that we've asked them to. And we're going to start with Afsoon. Afsoon, hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How is everyone?
It's great to see you.
It is wonderful to see you. It'd be better to see you in person, but a split screen is the next best thing.
Indeed. I feel like we are living 15 months of Brady Bunch, but it's okay. We'll get through it.
It does feel a bit like that. So if you don't know Afsoon, you certainly should. She is one of the leaders at LexisNexis, and they are such an important partner, not just NCBP and the ABA, but hopefully to each of your organizations, and not just on the things that you think about, although certainly they're very good at all the things that you've come accustomed to getting from LexisNexis, but also on things like the rule of law and other resources that are just show that they care about the people that they serve in the legal community. So Afsoon, can you talk a little bit about that? Not just whatever you want to talk about, but certainly some of the things that wouldn't be top of mind for some people, and certainly as people are presidents-elect, they can come to rely on LexisNexis in that new way.
Yeah, I would love to. Thank you so much. So I think first, let me start by saying I appreciate the opportunity to address everyone and to hopefully see some faces live throughout the next couple of days. But most people, when they hear of LexisNexis, think of one thing almost immediately, and that is legal research, which is understandable because that is the basis upon which our company started 30 some odd years ago. But what I think a lot of folks don't realize, and probably less so in this group because we've been partners with you for so long, and I feel like you all have heard the message and really internalized the message with regards to rule of law, but we do business in 130 different countries. And we do work on issues that are commercial in nature. So our legal research business, for which we are probably most well known. But the work that we do that I think is the foundation and the passion of many of us, and the reason why we get up and are excited to do our day-to-day jobs, is our commitment to the rule of law, to advancing the rule of law. And more so in the last 15 months, 16 months, however long it's been now, it's become apparent that the rule of law is under attack around the world and right here at home. And I think I heard one of the speakers say, this pandemic has really, I think, magnified for us the discrepancies between individuals across this country specifically, but around the world. And so we've taken strides almost immediately upon lockdown back in March of last year to address those issues that we thought practitioners needed from a practical perspective with regards to COVID, providing free resources, free COVID-19 resources through Law 360, through Practical Advisor, research information, et cetera. But we've never taken our foot off the pedal with regards to advancing the rule of law. And we've addressed the issue through things like our the naming of our first Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer, Rhonda Moore, who is phenomenal. And if you haven't had a chance to chat with her, I would be happy to put you in touch. But committing ourselves to things like working with historically Black colleges and universities, the Law School Consortium, on our inaugural fellowship project, addressing systemic racism in our legal system through 12 brand new fellows who are doing phenomenal work on things from how do you report in a bar association or through your law firm to how do we address through legislative means the inequities of the bail or the bail system, excuse me. So we've been very, very busy in the last 15 months addressing social justice issues, rule of law issues, which I believe go hand in hand, and creating resources that are available for our commercial side, our commercial business.
Thank you, Efsun. Really appreciate it. And let me make it real practical for our members. If you're rising president and you're already starting to think about speakers and programs, Efsun and her team at LexisNexis are great folks to brainstorm with about what resources they have, white papers that are out there, and even potential speakers. So keep them in mind. And thank you so much for your partnership.
Happy to do so.
So thank you, Efsun. And I did actually just have one follow-up question, which is, has LexisNexis experienced its own challenges during the pandemic? And did you change the way that you did business because of that?
Well, I keep hearing the word pivot, and then I'm a child of the 80s, so I flash to Friends, and all I can see is Ross moving a sofa in. So we've all had to pivot, right? Pivot. We are fortunate in that our business is such that by and large, we can work anywhere, right? So initially within the first, I think, 10 days, we had 90% of our workforce at full capacity working remotely. So yes, we did have to pivot. What we learned is that we're able to do so quickly and still be effective. The one thing that never changed, but I think was probably much more emphasized, is we've always centered our business around our customers. And I think the pandemic itself gave us the opportunity to really get back to that and to address our customers' needs without interruption, because we were able to pivot pretty quickly. So there was very little, if any, business interruption. And I think that is the most important thing. Again, from a commercial perspective, the most important thing for our business is ensuring our clients, our customers' success. And that's something that we were fortunate enough to not have interrupted.
Well, thank you, Efsun. And again, we thank you for your longstanding partnership with NCBP. The next sponsor that we'd like to talk to is Rimkiss. And today we have Don Bopp and Kim Brandel with us. And I think they're going to be joining us for a short discussion. So Kim and Don, are you here? Are you there? Yes, you are.
Absolutely.
Hi.
And
Hi.
thank you for bringing us aboard. Actually, thank you for allowing us to continue to support now in our 16th year, the NCBP, as well as your local bars. We're looking forward to the next live event. Believe me, I think we all are, but we are anxious to see all our friends there once again.
Well, thank you, Don. And Kim, I had a question for you about Rimkiss, because again, some of our, incoming presidents of NCBP may not have, great awareness of the kind of services you provide. Could you just give a brief overview of how you help lawyers in bar organizations?
Yeah, sure. So, I mentioned, well, Rimkiss Consulting Group is, if we're going to give the official definition, we're a forensic engineering, technical consulting, and expert witness services firm. And what we've got is a very, very large pool of very intelligent people that can work with attorneys on a variety of different types of cases when you're looking for technical expertise or an expert to, to back up your findings and build your defense. What we also do for bar organizations is because geographically we are so spread out across the US, in Canada, and in the UK, we're able to partner with your organizations in terms of learning and development, getting people connected through CLEs, providing you with updates on cutting edge technology and different areas that are really starting to come to the forefront of litigation mainly, but lots of other areas as well. So in that respect, we can partner with local organizations. I also wanted to, I know Don had a few things that he wanted to say about that as well. So I don't want to discount anything that you want
Oh,
to say.
no, go ahead, Don. Please continue.
That's all right. We're good at pivoting too.
Pivots
The
to
word of
work.
the year.
Yeah.
I think one of the things about the past 18 months is we never lost sight of our target, which was to continue to extend our global reach and also improve upon our capabilities technically to serve our clients at large, but in particularly the local bar. We've been actively working with them the past 18 months to develop CLE complementary, if you will, subjects and pieces and parts of information that they have asked us for, but we're doing it virtually as opposed to live that we did it in the past. It's worked out very, very well for us. And Kim will expand a little bit on that. It's also important to note that we've continued our strategic acquisition program. We've acquired 8, and as of last Friday, 9 companies since January of 2020. Despite the pandemic and all its obstacles, we continue to seek out the kinds of organizations that fit under our shield, if you will, in providing top-notch customer service and adding disciplines as well as adding capabilities that either support, enhance, or in some tangential way add to what Kim just told you of the kinds of services that we offer. The expansion extends from companies that are heavily involved in less forensic and more, if you will, front end types of things from the construction world, but also the claims piece is heavily represented. And we actually acquired 2 companies in Canada this past year to expand our reach there. We had a Rimkus consulting group there, but we expanded now to include roofing and paving assessments, as well as mechanical and electrical engineering capabilities. All of this taken together is our role, if you will, as support to everything you talked about earlier in regarding the rule of law. We're independent, no dog in the fight experts, and we come to the table to help you in your cases where the rule of law may be threatened or it may just be challenged, and we're there to bring the scientific and technical answers that help you present and defend those cases.
Thank you both. We're so glad to have you as a longtime partner and a strategic alliance. And we encourage our members to get to know you both because you're a great asset for their lawyers and their associations, but also because you're just a great partner for bar associations. So thank you both very much.
Thank you, and back at you.
My pleasure. Look forward to seeing you soon. I also look forward to getting their swag. I miss bringing
my
their
Rimkus
yeah. My kids appreciate me.
We have it at the ready. Can't
All
wait.
right. Can't wait. I'm going to stock up on squeezies and all that other cool stuff. So next up is Lawrence Coletti with the Legal Talk Network. Lawrence, you there? I see the icon, and here he, I think, comes.
Oh, hi there. I'm not able to start my video for some reason.
That's quite all right. It's because you're in radio, aren't you? That's radio and podcast. So, Lawrence, we are just so thrilled to have you on board and really to be helping us during this very annual meeting. Hey, there he is. So he's the guy with the headphones. You can tell he's in broadcast. But Lawrence, Legal Talk Network is something that we're getting to know more about. We're certainly benefiting from because whether you know it or not, we're having these presentations. I believe 4 of them throughout the next 2 days. He's turning into podcasts, not the actual presentations, but sort of the presentation after the presentation. So do check them out on Legal Talk Network. But tell our members what Legal Talk Network is.
Oh, well, the simplest one sentence there is we podcast the law. So we work with organizations to get their messaging out. And so we'll launch and we syndicate podcasts out. There's a lot of great audio content that delves into the practice of law, making lawyers better lawyers, but also getting out updates as to breaking cases, legislative changes, things like that. We cover that. So that's our bread and butter.
So what's the best way for people to find the Legal Talk Network in case they're not podcast aficionados and understand all the content offerings you have?
Sure thing. So I think the easiest way that everybody knows about, just go to our website, legaltalknetwork.com. Or if you just want to check us out, just pick up any old podcasting app out there. There's a native one in the Apple ecosystem on your iPhone. It's that little pink app that says podcast. Just put in Legal Talk Network and you'll get our entire catalog of shows that we've been doing since 2005.
That's terrific, and we're happy to be a part of that. They also recorded some content from our mid-year meeting. So if you liked some of our content that you experienced, or if you missed any of it, you can get some other aspects of it by going to Legal Talk Network's website and getting that information. So we've all changed a lot and learned a lot from the last year and a half or so, which hopefully we're quickly coming to an end to that learning process. But what sort of things has Legal Talk Network as an entity learned, and maybe you personally, that you'll be bringing into this new normal?
Yeah, I think for the network perspective, I think the biggest thing we learned was how to pivot and pivot quick. And, a lot of us had some expertise working remote. I'm one of the employees that regularly works remote. But, we had to get our entire workforce through our greater company. There's an umbrella company that owns us, and we had to get everybody working remote. So pivoting and, maintaining as much normal as possible, those close kinships you have at work, very important, especially when you're going through something as stressful as this pandemic's been. But, on a personal level, I relearned something I knew, but I had forgotten. And that was how important, our local community is. And, I travel a lot normally, and during the pandemic, we didn't go anywhere. And so I had an opportunity to get to know my neighbors. And it was very important. We're going through everyone was going through a really stressful time, but it was really nice to have, new people in my life that I finally got a chance to get to meet. And those friendships have, been very important during the pandemic. We've had to fix things at the building I live in just because things weren't getting done like they should have. And but that strength and alliance, we got enough phone calls in there, got things done. So I think that's just something that we maybe, at least I underappreciated. And I think it's just one of those things that's very important. So now I'm buying more locally. I'm paying attention to the stores just around me, making sure that if I need something and I can get it there, I'll just go there. So I know that's a little bit maybe hippie pie in the sky stuff, but it meant a lot to me. So.
No, I think there's been a return to humanity, if you want to call it that, for all of us. And whether it's, whatever it is, there's a renewed focus on community and proximity to where you are. You gotta start there. So thank you for sharing that. That's really important. Thank you for your association with us. We look forward to building upon it. And I encourage our members to reach out to you, because it really is just a great resource. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And I'm going to drop off here just a sec. We've got another recording coming up in 8 minutes. So I'm going to have to drop off and reset all of our boards here. So, but thank you so much for having it. It's always wonderful catching up with y'all, and hopefully we can do it in person sometime.
Thank you, my friend. We look forward to seeing you in Seattle, I hope.
All right, next up, I'd like to introduce you to Community Brands. And the person who's here on behalf of Community Brands today is David Geilhoff. David, are you there?
I am.
Excellent. Well, tell us about Community Brands and how you help bar associations.
Sure. So Community Brands is the largest provider, one of the largest providers of cloud-based technologies to schools, associations, nonprofits. So we have over 100,000 customers. I run our Your Membership business. And so we do a lot of stuff around member engagement. How do you actually get your members engaged? Across our division, we do things like virtual events, learning management systems, things like that. So that broader technology base.
And during the pandemic, let me just ask you about how your own company was able to address whatever disruptions that you were seeing within your customer base. And did you provide any more or different kinds of strategies for bar organizations?
So I think that it's interesting. I spent a lot of conversations in many different communities. And so your recap of the member engagement piece at the beginning of this was a reminder of our lesson from the pandemic. So technology companies have this reputation. We're like fast, flexible, agile. And then we got hit by the pandemic just like everybody else. And we realized how much further we had to go. And then we started learning from our customers how much further they had to go. It's really hard to be flexible. it's really hard, especially if you don't have the infrastructure to be flexible. So when we started working from home and everybody, got on Zoom and started doing these virtual things, you found out you could make a change really fast, but it was really painful. And so I think for a lot of bar associations, we've kind of gotten back to the basics of realizing for ourselves that, being flexible, being agile is a muscle. You need to practice it. So we're spending a lot of time with our customers, helping them use our technology and practicing using it differently, right? So we're going back to in-person a little bit in our customer base, but now we have the Delta variant coming back. And so we're going to do more virtual. And we're helping people practice the muscle of, well, what are you going to have to do? You don't know from month to month, but you can get the baseline kind of tools in place, policies in place, support in place to respond to whatever needs to happen. And I think for us as a technology company, living through the same level of challenge that our customers lived through was really brought us a lot closer. Like technology companies like to think we're kind of all that, right? But we all are struggling through that same basic set of change management problems.
So David, give me an example of how I can practice that muscle that you're talking about, just as a lawyer or as a member of a bar organization. Can you give me one tip on that?
Sure. I think, that was the takeaways from your member engagement segment. Be flexible, be agile. And I think the important part of being flexible and being agile is being willing to fail. So you need to try things, and you need to try things at a small scale. So what we've been kind of coaching a lot of our bar clients with is, okay, now you know that you have Zoom here. Well, what can you do with it? Can you run a big conference with 80 people on the screen? Can you do one-on-one? Can you move some of, pro bono is huge for the legal environment, right? Are there places that you can apply technology in different and unique ways? And unfortunately, we're not necessarily the ones who know exactly how to do that for your business, but we're the ones you talk to and say, hey, I got this problem. Do you have a piece of technology that helps us? So we're encouraging folks to kind of come to us and have that conversation. And that's a great conversation to have at our booth here at the virtual exhibit.
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because after we're done here, and frankly throughout the day, we invite everyone attending to visit the virtual booths of each of our strategic partners. Not only is there great information, and it's a nice way to let them know that we care about them being here, but there's raffles and you can register for them. And if you visit every booth, you're entitled to some additional eligibility for prizes. So please do that. Please also go on the platform and network with each other. We're going to provide some structured opportunities for that, but there's actually networking features on the platform, so you can do that. And I want to point out that I practiced being flexible enough to fail earlier when I almost dropped the ring light on our president, Aurora Ostriaco, in our opening session. So just want to let you know that I'm working out that brain and that flexibility. Thank you so much for being with us, and thank you so much for your strategic alliance.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Robin.
Our privilege. And then I want to bring up last but definitely not least, our good friend Maria Fisher with ABA Retirement. And one of the people I miss seeing in person, because we always have a good time over dinner and all the social activities, which I look forward to rekindling when we get to Seattle. But for now, we get to see you in what looks like a lovely apartment in Venice. Is that where you are?
No, that's it. Well, I'm very into the setting up my background so, if you looked in front of me, it would just be a bunch of trash and kid toys and everything. But behind me, it looks great. There's a plant, and there's nice doors. And, so I've strategically moved myself in places where it just always looks good. But
it fits you well. We're glad to see it. We won't make you move the camera, but you are such you and ABA Retirement are such an important resource, not just in terms of sponsorship, but the services you provide. So tell our members what ABA Retirement provides and how you can be an asset to their bar associations.
Sure. No, thank you very much. So as many of you know, and hello, everybody, The ABA Retirement Funds program has been around for almost 60 years now, providing 401ks to the legal community. So for law firms as small as just a single owner only firm, all the way up through, we have some large corporate law firms that are clients of ours as well. So regardless of size, we, our mission is to be able to deliver a retirement plan to the legal community to help the legal professionals save for a safe and secure retirement.
Outstanding. And what you've been doing during the pandemic, you personally, but also ABA Retirement, how have things changed for you all organizationally? What have you learned that are important takeaways as we move out of where we've been and where we're going?
Yeah, and it's been interesting because I will say, for the one thing that I know that law firms don't want to do or didn't want to do during the pandemic was change their retirement plan provider. It was just, on the list of things that people cared about, that just, I don't know why it wasn't one of them. No, what I think we saw, right, just as everybody else from day one, it was, we have a service to provide, right? And we have nearly 40,000 law firm participants who are looking for us for that service of their accounts. And so, for us, this is sort of, when there's a crisis, that's go time for us. And we need to be prepared. And so, first and foremost, it was about business continuity and ensuring that our participants were able to call in and access their funds if they needed to, right? And get those resources that they needed to. There was a lot of fear in the marketplace, especially in the very beginning. Now the market has done, just fine. But in the beginning, it was very, very volatile. And so, number one, it was getting a fairly large call center working from home to be able to address those concerns. And we were so proud that 100% of our call center was able to move work from home by March 20th. We implemented the CARES Act to allow participants to take their funds if they needed to, or take a loan if they needed to, within 3 days. And so, just that business continuity, it was a test for us, and we were very proud to win an award for our COVID response and participant communications. Actually won 2 awards in at the end of 2020. So we were really proud of that. And then going forward, it's looking at the legal community and how do they want us to engage with them. So we'll meet you where you want to meet. I personally hope it's in person, but I think it's probably going to be a mix. And so, we're happy to come to offices, but we're also looking at a digital platform where you can start building your 401k online. So, those are the types of things that we're looking at in service to, all you fine folks in the legal community.
Thank you. That's really helpful. And last, you didn't have a chance to say the word pivot. I was just wondering whether you wanted to say the word pivot since everyone today has said that.
You know what? I did. If there's somebody out there who has to take a shot every time it's mentioned, I didn't want to get anybody in trouble by saying it one more time. So
that's okay. NCBP bingo. If you're looking for the pivot bingo, Maria has now completed that sequence. Hey, thanks for being there. We look forward to talking to you soon, and encourage our members to reach out to you and go visit you in the virtual booth. So what do we got coming up? You enjoying the annual meeting so far, Robin?
We do. We have a lot coming up, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But we did want to encourage everyone to visit the virtual booths. As Mike was saying earlier, you can win prizes and enter into raffles from, seeing all the things that our partners do. But remember, they all have services that NCBP has found valuable, and we hope that you will also find them valuable for your own bars.
Yeah, and then I think it's important to remember, we don't just bring in sponsors and partners to write us checks, though we welcome their checks. They really are folks that provide valuable services that we vet, and they're really valuable allies for your association and for your leadership as well.